Hello, and welcome to another episode of Education by Spencer. Today we'll be covering TEK 6.2c, and that is to locate, compare, and order rational numbers. Now, before we get into that, I really want to address a lot of the misconceptions before we start. Now, let's go through some of the misconceptions, especially dealing with fractions. A fraction is a number that represents part of a whole. A fraction is written in the form of P over Q, where Q is never equal to 0. A fraction is is a way of writing a number that is not a whole number. Now, the misconceptions. Any number can be written as a fraction. This is where we mess up a lot in the 6th grade. Write any number over 1 to make it a fraction, since the total number of parts in any undivided whole number is 1. So this is the misconception that we want to address. The next misconception we want to address is fractions equal to 1. Those fraction values equal to 1, they are characterized by the numerator and the denominator being equal. Now, here's 2 different examples. Right here, we have 2 fractions as whole numbers, but 8 over 8 is equivalent to 1. Why? Because the numerator and the denominator are being equal. Now, 16 over 1 is actually a whole number. It is actually 16 because write any number over 1 to make it a fraction, since the total number of parts undivided is 1. And the one thing that we are going to address today, and we're going to dive in on, are improper fractions. Now, y'all, before we go any further, I do want to go ahead and finish up this problem just so you get an idea of what we was asking you to do. Drag the numbers to the most appropriate region in the diagram. So, y'all, 23 over 8 is an improper fraction. It will be a rational number. Negative 5 over 1 ends up being an integer because it is a negative number, and only positive whole numbers can be whole numbers. So we end up with 1 and 16 as our whole number. Just a great refreshment. Now let's get started on our lesson. All right, here we go. And it did not pop up the way I wanted it to. Let's see if we can go current slide. Here we go. I'm gonna go through this kind of quickly, y'all. I wanna give you an idea of what we'll be doing. Improper fractions to mixed numbers. Y'all, we're gonna be using the top dog, bottom dog strategy. Now, the top dog goes in the house and the numerator goes under the quotient and becomes your dividend. Now, our bottom dog goes outside the house and the denominator becomes the divisor. Now, y'all, this looks like a regular division problem. Now, let's figure out how to make it into a mixed number once we finish dividing. So we divide our numerator by the denominator. Top dog by the bottom dog. We end up with 9 being divided by 2. Now your divisor is your denominator. That stays the same. Your remainder, once you finish doing your division, your remainder becomes your numerator. And your quotient becomes your mixed number. So when we did our division, we had 3 with a remainder of 1. Now, the way we set this up as a mixed number, our quotient becomes the whole number, which makes it a mixed number. Our divisor remains the same, and our numerator is from our remainder. And I'm sorry about stuttering right there, y'all. Forgive me. Other than that, let's move on to the next lesson. I'll see you when we get there. Have a great day. Goodbye.